welcome. I'm Chandan Lahiri from OTA Survival School, and these are the Canoe stories. In this series, I visit different rivers and lakes tucked away in this incredible country called India, and paddle my Sea Eagle canoe while visiting the area where the water body is located, visiting the places to see and learning about things to do. Canoe Stories is a travelogue painted on the canvas of a canoeist. In this episode, I'm in Sattal, tucked away in the foothills of the lower Himalayas in the North Indian state of Uttarakhand. Literally translating to 7 lakes, all of which take their names from the mythological Indian epic, the Ramayana. Four of these lakes are connected: Hanumantal, Ramtal, Sitatal, and Lakshmantal. A bit further away is Garudtal, also known as Panna Lake, a favorite watering hole for the local wildlife. And there's the Bharattal and the Nal Damayanti Tal. Sattal lies about 30 kilometers from Kathgodam railhead and is about 12 kilometers further from Bhimtal town. A few kilometers short of the town of Bhavali, there is a fork on the left that takes one to Sattal. A short drive later, the first view of the Sattal Lake. The winding road down from Kathgodam to Sattal is a wonderful drive, and I needed a place to stay. What better option could there be but Country Inn, located alongside the lake that was to be the destination for this episode of the Canoe Stories. It is a beautiful hotel with an extremely friendly staff. A small area, but beautifully landscaped. Most importantly, it's about a minute's walk away from the edge of the Sattal Lake. The lakeside has lots of shacks serving meals throughout the day. I settle for a cup of tea before launching the canoe. Sattal is the lesser known of the other tourist spots in Nainital district. The towns of Nainital and Bhimtal are way more famous. But Sattal has its own unique charm and is a must-see for nature lovers.
यहाँ पे 7 लेक्स हैं छोटी छोटी. ये वाला आपका हनुमान लेक है, इधर पीछे राम लेक है, सीता लक्ष्मण इस पहाड़ी के बैक साइड में. 4 लेक तो जुड़ी हुई हैं, 3 आउट साइड में है. एक गरुड़ लेक, एक भरत लेक, एक आपका नल दमयंती लेक. इनका विलेज फॉरेस्ट एरिया एक पड़ता है, इसलिए सत्ताल बोलते हैं. मेन पॉइंट सत्ताल का यही है.
Sattal has a lot to offer the nature lover. Set amongst dense forests of oak and pine trees, Sattal is one of the few unspoiled and unpolluted freshwater biomes in India. Apart from the big trees, there are a lot of fascinating shrubs, bushes, and ferns. Of the couple of thousand bird species spotted in India, almost 500 can be found in and around the Sattal Lake.
यहाँ पे बर्डिंग काफ़ी अच्छा होता है. बर्ड सेंचुरी है वैसे सत्ताल एक प्लेस आपका उत्तराखंड में काफ़ी फेमस प्लेस है. यहाँ पे एक साल में करीब आपको समर, विंटर और आपका ऑटम सीजन मिला के करीब 450-500 स्पीसीज आपको इधर मिल जाता है. काफ़ी अच्छी रेयर बर्ड्स भी हैं. हिमालयन बर्ड्स भी आपका विजिट करता है. कुछ विंटर विजिटर हैं, कुछ समर विजिटर हैं. समर में आपका बहुत सी विजिट आपका दूर से उड़ के आते हैं जो चिड़िया. बाकी वाइट कैप वाटर रेड स्टार है, ब्लू विस्लिंग थ्रस है, ब्राउन फिश आउल है, बारबेट्स है, थ्रसेज हैं, वाइट थ्रोटेड लाफिंग थ्रस है, किंगफिशर है, वाइट किंगफिशर है, क्रेस्टेड किंगफिशर है, वाइट क्रेस्टेड लाफिंग थ्रस है. बहुत सी बर्ड्स हैं. बाकी आपका लेक में आपका फिशेज भी बहुत सारी फिशेज हैं जिसमें मटर कार्प है, महाशेर है, आपका सिल्वर कार्प है, ग्रास कार्प है, ऑलमोस्ट कार्प तो सारे ही हैं यहाँ पे। फिशिंग परमिट यहाँ पे इजीली इशू हो जाता है, कैच एंड रिलीज ही होता है यहाँ पे ज़्यादा, कैच करिए और रिलीज़ करिए।
There is a butterfly museum at Jones Estate, which has over 2,500 butterfly and moth specimens and 1,100 species of insects that are found in this region. And of course, there are a host of adventure activities one can enjoy.
यहाँ पे एडवेंचर का काफ़ी एक्टिविटीज़ आप लोगों को सीज़न में, ऑफ सीज़न में 12 महीने चलता है। जैसे कयाकिंग है, स्टिल वाटर कयाकिंग है, वाटर स्पोर्ट में बॉडी सर्फिंग है, लेक में आप स्विमिंग कर सकते हैं कयाकिंग के साथ साथ, रिवर क्रॉसिंग है, रोप एक्टिविटीज़ में, बर्मा ब्रिज है, आपका पैडलर रोप है, ट्रैकिंग है, काफ़ी अच्छा एक ट्रेल है नीचे वाटरफॉल के लिए, आप 1.5 किलोमीटर का ट्रैक है, और आपका रॉक एक्टिविटीज़ के लिए रिवर रॉक क्लाइंबिंग है, रैपलिंग है। बाकी स्टिल वाटर यहाँ पे कयाकिंग होता है, 2 मैन होता है, सिंगल होता है, डबल होता है, आधे घंटे का राइड रहता है, काफ़ी इंजॉय करते हैं लेक में।
The largely unspoiled beauty can possibly be attributed to the Sattal Christian ashram that owns a large part of the land in the area. Built by the Christian missionary and evangelist E. Stanley Jones, the Sattal estate has held on to the land, preventing concrete jungles from mushrooming in the area. Sattal has a lot to be thankful for to the Christian ashram. The wilderness remains thanks to them. Nearly 500 species of birds, migratory and indigenous, call this place home. And every direction from the lake once savors the wonders of nature instead of the monstrosity of man.
In 1840s, when Britishers were first here, they were experimenting tea in this area. So this was the whole 1600 acres of Bhimtal tea estate, which reason unknown, tea did not happen. So in 1860 or something, this all got split. So it got into small state, like this is the Mid Lake estate, there's a Flamid estate, and there was another state called Benue estate, which is now the YMCA. There was a Britisher called Evans. So he bought these 2-3 estates, small estates, and consolidated into Sattal estate, which right now is the Sattal estate, all 400 acres. And in 1930, this Sattal estate was on sale. So there was a advertisement, there's some paper cutting somewhere which said like 400 acres of land and with a private 12 acres of lake, which is the Panna lake. So they were interesting, the last line on the ad, Hindustan Times, it was cutting, it said, ideally suits a Raja or Nawab. But at the same time, there was an American missionary called Stanley Jones, who came to India in 1909. He used to come to Sattal, and this Evans, who owned these properties from 1911 till 1930, he used to rent out these cottages. There were 18 cottages then, to missionaries and people working in North India. So Stanley Jones used to come and rent a place. He used to fond of fishing and swimming. He wanted to evangelize and follow Christianity in the indigenous form, and he had this concept of ashram. Basically what he says, for self-discipline and group discipline. Sattal was very close to him. He was always used to stay here, and whenever he was in India, he would like to stay at Sattal. And he never became a bishop. He was appointed a bishop. Twice he was nominated for Nobel Peace Prize. Nominated twice. He didn't win, but 1963 he won the Gandhi Peace Prize. Another thing of Sattal estate and the biodiversity, if you talk about, as geologists say, it is considered to be an ecotone zone, so it's a hot spot for bird watchers. So.
But being a tourist spot, one does come across the local population putting up shops to cater to the needs of the people who come to visit. Not to forget the geese. And the Saint Bernard. As I paddled up and around the lake, the shop owners prepared themselves to welcome guests. local fisherman prepared his rod and line, hoping to catch enough to make a meal. The summer tourist season was nearing its end, and the pace was much more tranquil. And I had the lake pretty much to myself. The boats and kayaks were bobbing up and down on the water, waiting for their next ride. The ferns, shrubs and bushes across the lake were fluttering gently in the wind, in the different shades of green brought on by the monsoon rains. Over a cup of tea at Country Inn, Vicky told us the story of the legendary freedom fighter, Subhash Chandra Bose.
7 साल से 1.5 किलोमीटर का ट्रैक रहता है सुभाष धारा के लिए। काफ़ी बहुत ज़्यादा फेमस तो नहीं है, लेकिन जो नेचर लविंग होते हैं वही लोग जाते हैं वहाँ पे। एक केव है छोटा सा, उसके पीछे एक स्टोरी है कि वहाँ पे सुभाष चंद्र बोस रुके हुए थे काफ़ी टाइम तक। यहाँ पे एक फैमिली थी, जोशी फैमिली, उन्होंने वहाँ पे उसको सुभाष चंद्र बोस जी को दूध दिया हुआ है।
Despite my reluctance to any kind of hiking or trekking, I joined my friends Sam and Vicky for the almost 2-kilometer trek that took about an hour. On the way, we crossed another of the 7 lakes of Sattal, Bharattal. The foliage was exquisite, and the mist rolling down the hillside provided a surreal landscape. The forest was dense and became more so as we reached the waterfall. The rocks, boulders and heavy undergrowth took a toll on my broken knee, and I stopped just prior to the waterfall. But Sam took some nice pictures on his phone for me to see. By the way, this route also has a couple of rocks, good for climbing and rappelling, and a couple of more nice treks, as Vicky told us.
शॉर्ट ट्रैक ले तो पहले ही हम बता चुके हैं आपको, वाटरफॉल ट्रैक ले, सुभाष धारा जो ट्रैक है। बाकी एक ट्रैक आपका हिडम्बा टेम्पल है, यहाँ से आपको 1 घंटे का ट्रैक है, 3 से 4 किलोमीटर का वॉक रहता है। बाकी हाइट पे जाके लेक भी काफ़ी अच्छा दिखता है, सातताल लेक दिखता है पूरा। बाकी एक यहाँ से विलेज है ऊपर सूर्या गाँव, वहाँ उसमें भी करीब इतना ही टाइम लगता है। थोड़ा सा हार्ड है ट्रैक, बट अच्छा है, नेचुरल ब्यूटी देखने के लिए, लेक देखने के लिए। विलेज गाँव बहुत अच्छा है।
For me, it was back to the lake again for some canoeing. I was lucky to have the lake almost entirely to myself. It was still the monsoons and the tourist season had just ended. In peak time, coinciding with the summer and winter holidays, it is almost impossible to have a run of the lake without bumping into people kayaking and boating on it. But that has its own charm. The last of the 7 lakes of Sattal is the spring and rain-fed Nal Damayanti Lake, named after 2 mythological and eternal lovers from the Indian scriptures. The love Nal and Damayanti shared was so intense that they were destined to live together forever. Their continuing togetherness is depicted by the many fish in the waters of the lake. Revered by Hindus and protected by the locals, fishing is prohibited in this lake. So that was Sattal, the 7 beautiful lakes in the Nainital district of Uttarakhand. One last paddle on the lake, and it was time to bid goodbye to this wonderful piece of geography. As the sun set and the sky darkened, it marked the end of this edition of the Canoe Stories. I hope you join me on another lake, another river, another journey. Let us together explore the many rivers and lakes in this gorgeous country. May you have the wind on your face and the sun on your back. Carry on chasing the ripples. So long and goodbye. Namaste from OTS Survival School.